So listen carefully. There's a prayer that Jesus taught us in the garden just before his crucifixion. He called it the Gethsemane prayer. And once you realize how many times he repeats it, you'll understand why demons fear it. So I'm going to show you what it looks like verse by verse in Luke 22:42. Because this prayer changes everything. But before we get there, I need to ask you something. Have you subscribed? Because if you're serious about your walk with Jesus, you need to join our spiritual family. So please click that button, really helps. And now, let's dive into the prayer that kills demons. Look at verse 41. And Jesus, being in agony, prayed more earnestly. He withdrew about a stone's throw beyond them, knelt down and prayed thus, Father, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. Now, let's break this down word for word, because this is a formula for breakthrough. First, we see Jesus with, and here's what I love. As things get harder, he doesn't run to Mary or Martha or even the disciples. He runs to solitude with God. Breakthrough always begins with separation. You can't pray the Gethsemane prayer in a crowd. It's birthed in secret. So learn to hide yourself in God when everyone else would criticize you for crying out to him. Then Jesus, in his humanity, asked for the cup to be taken away. In Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 7, it says that Jesus offered up prayers and supplications with a loud voice and tears to the one who was able to save him. Don't ever think God's annoyed when you bring him your pain. He's actually honored by it. That's why real faith isn't pretending you're fine. It's bringing your terror to God. Now, here's the trigger verse. The one demons despise. Jesus said, Nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. When you speak this into existence, you unlock incredible power. In the Greek it says thelema, which means God's will, not theos, which means God's command or decree. Thelema carries the idea of an active purpose, not a passive fate. When Jesus prayed this, he didn't just accept suffering, he leveraged it. And that's the key. Your circumstances aren't getting worse. Your authority is increasing. See, when you embrace surrender, you kill some. And here's what happens next. Something beautiful. John 12:24 says, A grain of wheat must die if it's to bear fruit. You were planted for such a time as this. The world needs you to die to self, so you can resurrect with new strength and bear the fruit of righteousness. Philippians 3:10. To know Christ and the power of his resurrection, and to share in his sufferings, becoming like him in his death. If you've accepted your cup, like Jesus, angels will show up. Look at verse 43. And being in anguish, he prayed even more earnestly, and his sweat became like drops of blood, as it were. When you surrender, you invite supernatural reinforcement. Isaiah 42:31 says, Those who wait on the Lord shall soar on wings like eagles. They'll run and not be weary. They'll walk and not faint. Finally, sweating like blood isn't some dramatic miracle. It's a medical fact called hematidrosis, which happens when extreme stress bursts capillaries. What I'm trying to say is, Jesus fought for surrender. And if he struggled to pray this prayer, why do you think you won't? So how do you pray the forbidden prayer that Jesus prayed? Well, here's how. Step no. 1. Name your cup. What are you begging God to remove? Fear, loneliness, pain, debt? Step no. 2. Speak the nevertheless. Say it, God, I hate this, but I trust you more. And step no. 3. Wait for the angel, because surrender always precedes strength. I'm gonna say this again. This prayer isn't for the faint of heart, but if you're ready to trade your plan for God's purpose, miracles will follow. So I dare you pray it today, and watch what happens. Hey, I'm here, reminding you that you don't just survive, you heal, grow, and rise. Remember, we don't just survive, we thrive. And as always, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.